I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and cover the honey story now, and then we'll go back to the other stuff in order. We'll get into the Ron Paul stuff. Since I saw you do a screenshot of that, let's just cover the honey now. Shock finding, more than 75% of all honey sold in grocery stores contains no honey at all. You know, so many times I've asked my uncle, who for a decade worked in real hill country, Texas, beekeeping. And he got out of it because he got tired of getting stung by bees, and he could make more money in ranch management. But he would explain to me how angry he would get, and how a lot of the even local companies, but especially the big internationals, have no honey in them. And how they would get away with it. He worked for Fane's Honey, and it was 100% honey. Their molasses and other stuff they sold was 100%. I mean, you know, they would go to Louisiana and buy the big barrels of the raw stuff and purify it. And Fane's is in stores in Austin. It's real honey. Every once in a while you might find a little, you know, bug leg or something in there. But he would explain this to me. But now Natural News, through the food safety groups, well, it's all broken down here. And the laboratory at the Texas A&M University evaluated more than 60 products labeled as honey that had been purchased by FSN from 10 states and the District of Columbia. They found 76% of honey samples purchased from major grocery store chains like Kroger and Safeway, and 77% from samples purchased from big box chains like Sam's Club and Walmart did not contain any pollen. That is impossible. Okay, it's in all of it. Under a microscope, I mean, it's 100%. It's microscopic. It's in all of it. Even worse, the honey samples taken from drugstores like Walgreens and CVS and fast food restaurants like McDonald's and KFC were 100% of which were found to contain no traces of pollen. And it means pollenless is 100% means that it's not. And they went through and tested it and found it was corn syrup. And that's what my uncle would say. He said they put a flavoring in there. My God, it's corn syrup. And then he won't come on the air and tell the story because he doesn't want to be on TV. But you know what? I'm done. He doesn't have to put his face up here. Tomorrow, I want him on the news. And then let's also get this writer from Natural News, Ethan A. Huff. I've never had him on. Or we can get the other group that they're reporting on, Food Safety News. We can get them on. Yeah, whoever. You just get them on, and then we'll have my uncle pop in by phone. He's got a computer, but he won't do Skype. Old Vietnam helicopter pilot type guy, doesn't like being on TV, but we'll get him on, and maybe I can get him to talk about it. Because, again, he never wanted to come out and talk about it. He goes, I'll never believe it. Most of that stuff's not honey. You can look at it. You can look at it underneath a slide. We've looked at it. You'd see pollen and microscopic bug parts in there. You can taste it. You can boil it and tell what it is. You know, I can really tell, Alex, it'll ruin. It'll ruin. They found honey in Egyptian caves, 3,000 years old in the tombs you can still eat, non-crystallized, Alex. Let me tell you, corn syrup will rot. I mean, but we'll see if I can get my uncle on. He's one of the guys who woke me up to the New World Order. You know, I mean, I was already kind of waking up to it, but he was really deep into it. This will be a 10-hour show tonight, but there's that piece of news. Okay, let's move on along here. Poll, Ron Paul third-party bid could transform 2012 election. In a big scientific poll, in a three-way race, he got 18% of the vote, with Obama getting 44, Romney getting 32. Now, here's the issue. In dead heats up against Romney, he beats him in polls, and he beats Obama in polls. This was just one poll by Real Clear Politics. Ross Perot in the similar polls had about 6, 7, 8% before he ran. Ron Paul would destroy them in the debates. Our article breaks it down, and it also talks about Jesse Ventura. I talked to Libertarian Party folks today. They're about to talk to him. It may have already happened. He's going to entertain running as the Libertarian and going for that nomination. And then Ron Paul should know by March or April if he's going to end up being able to win the primaries, may be able to as a Republican. If not, he comes over as the presidential candidate. Ventura's ready to go VP, and that is a power-packed, star-studded, pro-freedom, anti-New World Order group. And Jesse Ventura is, I'm really getting informed. I'm advising him. He's waking up to a lot of things. And is anti-big government all the way, pro-Second Amendment, anti-war. These two are just a power-packed team. And that article is so important. Please get it out to everybody. Poll, Ron Paul, third-party bid could transform 2012 election. And I've told Ron Paul on and off air. By the way, I think Ron Paul's on next week, maybe even sooner. But with a lot of important news. But Ron Paul knows that this is his last hurrah. If he doesn't win this nomination because of vote rigging or stealing or whatever, or them trying to ignore him, he is number 3 undisputed right now. He's been winning the big straw polls lately in Illinois and came in second in the big one against Mitt Romney. But they're still trying to ignore him because they're scared of him. Ron Paul runs third party if he doesn't win the nomination with the Republicans. And he'll have plenty of time to build that up, and he'll at least be able to educate people, be in the debates, inject real issues. This will be worth hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of free advertising for liberty during that entire year-long election. Ron Paul has said he's leaving the House, and my intel is that's because even if he doesn't win the nomination, which he thinks he may and he could, for the Republicans, he isn't going to then say, now I'm a libertarian, and they're going to say, well, you were elected a Republican. He's going to say, doesn't matter, I'm already out of here anyways. And boom, it'll be just another attack on the globalists, another way to expose them. Very, very exciting. Look at that ticket right there. Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, I'm not giving in to the New World Order. We got a good chance of beating these crooks. They're trying to clamp down and set up this big police state and all this garbage because they're scared to death, folks. And I also like Ron Paul and Jesse Ventura being out there fighting the New World Order because then I'm not the only target. I'm his greatest insurance policy, Alex. They would never kill him and make me president. No, they'd wait till you were both on one airplane and blow it up, but that'd be pretty damn obvious. All right, whatever. We're going to continue to cover that. Again, Ron Paul, second only to Romney and Obama matchup. Congressman win O'Reilly straw poll, so O'Reilly disqualifies him. That's another big report. Where you've seen this in dozens of polls now. He'll win first, second, or third, and then they just don't even mention him in the poll. Remember when Jon Stewart did that compilation of videos of them doing that? Oh my God! But on his own show, on his own straw poll, he then didn't show the results. I mean, this is almost criminal, this amount of false advertising, disinformation, and lying. Certainly treasonous. I mean, Bill O'Reilly, take your VAT and sales taxes and... Okay, I got a family audience. But you know, he got a lot worse after he got caught and settled with his dirty talk. So that's why he's basically over a barrel. He's a compromised man, ladies and gentlemen. These guys aren't. Continuing here, scientific study confirms Ron Paul being given least face time in debates, even less than Santorum, Huntsman, and Gingrich. He's given less time and less coverage in news stories than people that aren't even in the race, by the way, because they're scared of him. So we've got that report. Romney gets 15.8 minutes in a debate, Perry 20, Bachman 12.5, Huntsman 11.3, Kane 8.1, Gingrich 11.1, Santorum, and it just goes on. They've got numbers. Look at this graph. Give me a document cam shot. This is allotted time in the GOP debates. And look right here. Ron Paul gets the least amount of time. That's a spectrum of 3 debates. They've got other graphs that show it. Look, Romney, the guy they want you to have. Their backup, Rick Perry, Bachman, Huntsman, Kane. That's how much they get in the debates. You see that? All right, continue. But they've hit the panic button with this scandal with Herman Cain, who has been caught. He has been caught lying, so I don't know what's true. But the fact that one of these women works for Axelrod and the others have been caught reporting this stuff over and over again. Yeah, there's a poll, New York Times, where they don't even show Ron Paul, who's undisputed in second or third place. I mean, that's like watching an Indy 500 race and you don't mention the guy in second or third. I mean, it's like teams in the playoffs, and you don't mention who's second or third. I mean, this is rigged BS. And you don't think they won't rig elections in different regions with the electronic machines? I'm sorry, do what? Oh, yes, they're predicting Huntsman. Yeah, is he even in the campaign now? I mean, this is a guy who can't even get 1% of the vote, but that's who they want. Very bizarre. Laura Ingraham was saying what? Why don't you just get on air, dude? They were praising Newt Gingrich, the guy that supports carbon taxes and world government. Whatever. We ought to set it up where you can actually get on air. I mean, we should do that because I've told the other crew to do that on the radio. They never do it. It's like I've asked for a lower third Infowars.com, not a bug, just Infowars.com for 2 years that I could just put on there instead of big giant lower thirds. You know what I mean? Not complaining, but we'll just do this on air. Like we're covering this here. This is teleprompter free news. Do you like it? Okay, let's go ahead now and get into this next report. We're almost done here and going to break and coming back with, I didn't mention, Michael Bagneric's coming up tonight. So that's going to be informative. Former Libertarian presidential nominee, 2004, good friend of mine. U.S. researchers and Big Pharma conducting human experiments in Africa. And, I mean, I've seen this declassified hundreds of times, and it gets into reports where they've linked people getting HIV from the vaccines. All I know is the BBC years ago had to admit that they checked medically a bunch of young women that had HIV. Some countries, half of them have it. And it turned out that they'd all been vaccinated. None of them had lost their virginity that they looked at. And they found, well, it must be dirty needles then. Yeah, right. So there is that report. They use our troops as guinea pigs as well. Read the full report at Infowars.com, or the People's Constitution has got links to it and to the ethical guidelines on human experimentation. Our government, under U.S. Code Title 50, Chapter 32, Section 1528, Paragraph B. That's hard to get from memory, but I got to say it fast. U.S. Code Title 50, Chapter 32, subsection 1528, Paragraph B. And they say all this experimentation is illegal unless it's for research. Then it's all legal.